That song though, oh my goodness, so good. Hello, 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 and welcome to another One Lion of Code. I am One Lion, and you are all amazing. Welcome and happy Friday to you all. Whew, today is a Friday, which means Community Day on this channel. Yay! So we'll find out what we're doing as far as what type of code and stuff will be on the screen as we do Community Day. But as many of you already know, Community Day is a day where I invite you to come up with topics, things you'd like to discuss. Maybe you have some projects that you would like looked at, or a project. Maybe you want some advice on some code stuff that you're doing from us, from the entire community, so not just me. Yeah. Awesome. So I'm going to go to the desktop. So I invite you to do that either via, I can't do that yet, the chat, directly in chat. Jalapenos. I hear Belint on BitGamey's stream. botapp.ng. All right, I redeployed my app on my local network, my app. Right, and I need to update my Twitch settings so that it will redirect to ngdrs.local. I think that's it. So if I save that, it should work. Should do. Hopefully it takes effect right away. But yeah. I mean, we haven't been using PubSub anyway, so we should just be able to connect to chat. And no, we can't because it still needs... Oh, I don't know. Let's just try it. Let's see what happens. Hello, TBD Gamer. Kind of looks like nothing is happening. Okay, so I think that's what we're going to try doing today. We're going to try getting the bot working on Angie. And Findle is here. Yeah, exactly. Connect it, see what happens. Let me just make sure that I don't have any secrets showing in this Visual Studio session. You can definitely see Angie's server, so that's going to be fine. Cigarettes? I think we're good. We're fine. All right, Findle says, gotta be lurking, need a shower, but I'm kinda here in a bit and back and forth. Cool. Well, thank you so much for hanging out, for being here, for even just showing up and saying hello. That is very appreciated. But how is your day going, TBD, if you don't mind me asking? If you do mind me asking, or you're just busy, then no pressure to respond. Okay, my guess is that, oh, I need to go over to Angie real quick, is that his redirect URL is not set correctly in app settings. Let's just see in program.cs if that's where I'm actually setting this up. Yeah. Okay, so there is this app-based URL that I'm going to be looking for. Day is going. I'm going kind of slow today, but I've been waiting for 1.5 hours because someone asked to meet and is leaving me hanging. I really, really don't like when that happens. I hope they show up soon. S***N. All right, I need to check out the apps on the server, which are what? F drive, and web server apps, bot app. This is scary. I'm opening my production app settings. Yeah. App. Change that. And then do we have somewhere that we're configuring the redirect URL? I'm not seeing that. Yeah, so I was just making sure that I don't have an app base URL configured and that my base path is configured correctly. So I set up this application so that let me close this. So that when it is deployed, it can either be deployed as a virtual application on IIS or directly to IIS as a virtual directory to, or not virtual, as a subdomain. And then I configured all of my computers to be to route that subdomain dot domain dot local to that computer. So on my internal network right now, for now in hosts, that's how I'm doing it. But I do plan on using a reverse proxy. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to restart the the IIS site so that it takes the settings. I don't know any of these terms and stuff. Like the furthest I've gone in self-hosting is port forwarding on a router and opening that port on my computer, which is not what I want to do with this. I do want to set up a reverse proxy. I want to set up a VPN type of situation. I have all of the instructions for doing that, but I just haven't gotten around to actually doing it. I think TBD, do you use ngrok? Is that how you're serving your apps? I can't remember. Mike. Oh no. Okay. Sorry, I was helping out Big Gamey. No one told him that his mic is not quite making noise. All right. I do need to turn him down though, because I know he's going to start talking to me and that'll be distracting, but that's fine. Today is a day all about being distracted. So yes, again, if you do have any conversation pieces that you want to talk about, then feel free to bring those up. Absolutely. Marcus Voice Coder is here and I will be happy to talk with you about them. If you just want to pause on some topic that you feel that you want to talk about, then that's also allowed. Why is this redirecting to the wrong URL? You should be redirecting. When we do, I as much as I've been in this app recently, I have no idea what the flow is of everything. I'm pretty sure I have some kind of Twitch connector or something along those lines. Let's just close a bunch of stuff. That's the client. That's fine. These are the bot commands, which we were working with earlier, so I may as well pin those. Twitch options. So is one of the options that I'm supposed to be setting the redirect URL for OAuth? No, it isn't. OpenAI API configuration, that's for the TextGen API. So here's all of my URLs, my components. And again, don't let me take up the entire stream doing this. I am, again, absolutely happy to talk about any and every topic that you want. Previously, it has been pretty AI-centric, AI-focused, but we can talk about anything technology. That's chat test, index. Can we get the index page itself, please? Okay, so index page has, oh, it would be in layout. What am I thinking? It would be on layout. So not you. Yeah, all right. And if you can't come up with, or if you can't, if you don't feel like coming up with topics, then just tell me about your day. Just tell me what you've been doing lately. TBD said he's waiting on someone to contact him because they said they wanted to talk with him, and it's been an hour and a half. Okay, Twitch connection status. This would be the one. On click, handle connected, handle connect Twitch clicked, which does the let's create a state by using the secure random number generator. And TVD says, and now they want to talk. So best go is I have a meeting in 45 minutes too. Dag nabbit, that sucks for you. I'm sorry. Well, just know that we're sending you all of the energetic love and excitement for your meetings so that they go exactly as you want them to. Yeah, so navigation manager base URI. How odd is it that we are not, that we aren't getting the right URI, base URI? Is this on the client side? Yeah, this would have to be on the client side that this is happening. So let's take a look at program.cs on ye old client. One thing that I don't know if you're interested in, oh man, speaking of interested in seeing, there were like 1,000 things that we started many moons ago that I don't think we ever wrapped up. So one of them was a successful experience with using AI to make an app or to write functionality. And so we started working on, I don't know, 4 weeks ago, Blazor WYSIWYG editor, and we were going to have Claude just do it for us. So we can explore completing that using Copilot agents and see how far that gets, if you're interested in it. Okay, so I'm also looking for program.cs for Blazor Web App Server. You there. Yeah, so app-based URL. And when app-based URL is not specified, yeah, this is super duper weird because it really should be giving us botapp.ngdlhe.local because that's what I've configured on the server for the site. But it's still trying to reroute. I'll show what it's actually trying to do on stream. Let me just stop the site one more time, make sure I'm in the right folder. Aha, I have not deployed the app. Duh. Okay, I forgot exactly how I do the deployments. I thought that all I needed to do was deploy from Visual Studio, and Web Deploy hasn't been working on my web server, so I need to do the extra step of importing the site. How do I do that? Browse. F drive, web app staging, automated realms bot. No, it's got to be this bot app. Next bot app. Next. Okay. No. Finish. Start. Okay. So I've just started the app again, and I need this to be on a different screen because that's where chat is. How am I supposed to see chat? Dude. Okay, so here's what we are seeing on the server: botapp.ngdlh.local. Local. Oh, itchy nose. Okay, and that took a little while to start up because it was the first one. Does the community day dance? What does it look like? Okay, so what we are seeing is that it's trying to redirect me. And where is redirect URL up here? Here it is. To botapp.ngdlh.local/OAuth, right? What's it called? URL decoder. botapp.ngdlh.local/OAuth. That is correct. But for whatever reason, the actual redirect that I'm getting is ngdlh.local/botapp.oauth, which is what it used to be. So it's like it's not actually redirecting me to the right place. Let me go back to the Twitch console, like the Carlton mix with the locomotion. That is really hard to think about. Do I have an extra slash? Good question. So the way that this should work is in the deployed application, it should be looking for app base URL. And I'm looking at my app settings.config on the server, or app settings.json, my app.config, app settings.json, and I do see app base URL with the URL https://botapp.ngdlh.local, which it looks exactly like this essentially. Then for base path, I have slash. So that is also defined in my app settings, which is cool. Then what is supposed to happen from there, and that is set as the base address of the HTTP client that we are using to authenticate with Twitch, I hope. Oh, I really hope. Okay, so this is where I click the button to authenticate, navigate to pub/sub URL. Pub/sub URL is going to give me the URL with all of the params. But if the config exists, it won't use the base path extra part. Oh, you're right. So that's okay though, because the base URL doesn't need the trailing slash. So what we're going to get back anyway is https://botapp.ngdlh.local without the trailing slash, and that's fine for the base address because it would trim it anyway. Good catch though. Okay. So when we do the request, yeah, that's what I'm looking at all of the places for. So let me get that open so I can answer whether or not that is the case. Where did I put my, oh, there it is. Hello, Hule Snabble. Julio. Where's it going? dev.twitch/console. So yes, the only, this is really hard to tell which one I'm using though. Which client secret, or not secret, which client ID is this? This one. Yeah, so I'm definitely using the client ID for the one that has bot app. Wait, no, I updated it. Why did it not update it? Piece of meanie. I probably didn't hit save after I updated it. Left the background on the desktop. What is it? Oh yeah, so this is Thyrovius. Well, a representation of Thyrovius. This was drawn by someone in the Lineage 2 community, and they did an amazing job on it. But this is a Kamael from Lineage 2, and this computer's namesake. Okay, so now in my Twitch config, I have botapp.ngdlhe.local/OAuth. Now I need to remember to save, and for that save to be successful. Okay, let's give it another shot then. Bot app ngdlhe, and like a magic, woohoo! Thank you, Tyron. Thank you for helping me check all the boxes that I typically just kind of brush over because I try to do things too fast without, and I miss the details. I've done that 100 times with my Twitch bot. Okay, so allegedly we have a connection to Twitch on Angie. Let me go to studio mode, archery bot, turn on Angie's version of the archery bot and get errors. Let's fix the URL. You're going to be botapp.ngdlhe.local. And okay. And there we go. That's a good sign. Allegedly, we should be able to get off of studio mode, to type !archery. It's going to take a minute because the LLM hasn't processed any messages yet. Why are you saying disconnected from Twitch though? Do any of the commands work by chance? For example, die roll, developers.stream. Okay, so even though I did connect, it disconnected me. This disconnect button doesn't really work. How about a refresh? And that kind of looks like the app died on the server. Hello? Event log? Okay, let me close this and just open a blank notepad. And all I have to do is remember not to open app settings and we can look at the server together. Oh, just gotta be safe, that's all. Okay, I'm checking event log to see if something actually happened to the bot app. So once again, I am using IIS. Yes. Yes, I am. Hello, Pixisaur? Pixasaur. Pixiesaur. It's kind of like a dinosaur, but a pixie. Me. I see you have one single watcher at the moment. Me. And a few on Twitch, but yeah. I don't get very much traffic on YouTube, I don't think. I don't really pay attention to the numbers or anything, but thank you for being here. You came in on a community day, and if my bot was up, I would be able to tell you more about community day by using a command. But since it's not up yet, and we are working on it, bot app cannot be found. Oh, do I need to, oh, there's a bunch of stuff. I see what happened. Do I need to create a sync? Or, wait, the model is loaded. For bot app on the computer. Does anyone know off the top of your head without looking it up, because I'm doing this search myself. Hello, good VJ. What the kitchen or bathroom sink event log sync? I forget what they're called. Just event source? Is that what they're called? So off the top of your head, no Linux install. So I'm very comfortable using Windows, but the situation is that I have a computer in another room that was my streaming computer, and I just repurposed it to be my web server. And so now this is a different streaming computer. But yeah. It is definitely valid to host the applications that I want to use on Linux. It's just a lot easier for me if that computer, because it's more than just my web app, my web host, to run Windows on it. Event log create source. You don't have to yell at me though. I'm glad you have an opinion on what I should be using, but yeah, I don't really take dares. I kind of just do the thing that works for me. But thank you for the suggestion. I appreciate it. Okay, I need to this one. Yeah, this is definitely the command I remember running. I just don't remember what all of these things are. This will create a new event source named my event source. So that's going to be bot app. Correct. No arch. Not for me, at least. And Snubble says, I thought all cool kids ran Steam OS. Steam OS under application as event log, or event log as information. And yes, that is what I want. But what is this /d quotation marks? You're not telling me what the /d quotation marks is. Where can I find more information? All right, I guess I should be doing the search on screen. Pasta. Hollow ISO or sorry. Yeah, is that supposed to be ISO? Hollow ISO or Chimera OS? Why are you yelling so much? You don't need to all caps here. We hear you. We see you. You are seen. /D is a switch for description. Oh, we can actually have a description for it. That's cool. So our description is going to be the what application. What do you know? All right. Just have it. Well, allow me to help you choose not to follow that habit. It is kind of poor etiquette. And not just here, just on the internet. Okay, so I think what I think I did is created an event source so that when the app crashes, we'll actually be able to get some information, I hope. All right, default API endpoint set to my LLM. Oh no, is it actually going to be logging information? I don't need to log information. I needed to log only warnings and errors. Whoops. Oh well. Doesn't matter. We're going to go with... So I am up... Well, I can't even say this. I was going to say that I'm updating my bot, but I'm not. I'm just kind of getting it running on my local web server that I got set back up. Normally what I've been doing is just running the bot from Visual Studio. But it needs a lot of updates, and I was thinking if I get it running again on that computer over there, then we can do the changing my reliance on TwitchLib and setting up pub sub myself, or event sub. But during my normal streams, what I had been doing was my workday. And the reason that I was streaming my workday was because I loved getting feedback from people on the projects that I was working on, some better ways of doing the things that I was doing. Because as a solo developer, I really don't get that kind of feedback. I don't have someone else reviewing my PRs or my code and stuff like that. Actually, TextGen Web UI was super easy to set up. There's a one-click installer from Pinocchio, but I don't think I used the one-click installer. I think I cloned it and went through the manual install process, but it was still super duper easy. The one that has not been easy is doing it with a newer graphics card, because the driver or the Python libraries are still not there yet. They haven't been compiled against CUDA 12.8, and Tensor finally, or not Tensor, PyTorch finally has been, but Flash Attention and Sage Attention. Although I was able to get Sage Attention compiled myself, Sage Attention 2, I guess, but Flash Attention I thought I did, but it's not working. I don't know why it's not working. So I really want to be able to run the LLM on that computer instead. Okay, there we go. Use an RT. Oh, that's why. No, I'm kidding. So it should run well. It should be okay on an RTX 3060. It's when you're running AMD or yeah, AI really does love to steal it all. I'm getting a whole bunch of stuff working though. I'm essentially faking a multimodal model where I have an automatic 1111 stable diffusion installation with comfy UI, so they're kind of running side by side. They both have their strengths. I am also running TextGen Web UI, and recently I got frame something or other working. Yes, hi Scott. But it's image to video, and it does pretty good. It runs on only 6 gigs of video memory, and you can generate up to 2-minute videos, and it does pretty good. Like, I'm trying to come up with some creative ways to use it. I think it's using Hanyuan model, but I was using Copilot in agent mode to add the ability to pick the model, text encoder, clip, and vey, so that I can switch it up. Yeah, that one. I think your fingers were in the wrong place. But I think you could use Crew AI if using multiple agents. Probably, yeah. So something to orchestrate them. I think you're right. Let me make note of that. No, we don't need to keep that. No, we don't need to keep that. From Pixie Soar. Pixasaur on YouTube's. Probably can use Crew AI. So yeah, if that is a way of orchestrating agents together, that would be very cool. But like, of course, the goal is to have just a single multimodal model. That way I don't have to load multiple models, but because of the types of tasks that I'm thinking of doing with it, it's going to be more along the lines of load the model, perform the task, unload the model, load the next model, perform that task kind of thing. I don't know. I mainly just do stuff like optimizing my PC and running pointless programs. I love pointless programs. As long as you're enjoying yourself and getting something from it, or not even that, as long as it's something that you feel like doing, then please do. Okay, we got an error. That's what I was expecting to see. Either the component that raised, no, that's fine. Error connecting to signal R, status code 404. My signal R host is probably misconfigured. Aha. How do we have that configured? So 2 things that we need. We need a trailing slash. Can I just use I'll have to think about that one. Where do you host web applications and SQL Server? So that is like, I know that it's not good to run both SQL Server on this and web applications on the same host, but that is what I'm doing because these are all going to be internal applications only. I'm going to be the only one that has access to these applications on network. It isn't good because you have, it has something to do with permission boundaries. Yeah, it just has something to do with permission boundaries. Like if they were on 2 separate virtual machines, I think that that is acceptable. So 2 virtual machines on the same host is fine. But having them both on the same host, I don't remember. This was probably information from 2009, 2010. So don't quote me on it. I have no idea if it is still relevant. Yeah, I mean, if it's like a high traffic application, then that could be a problem, what Pixasaur said. So maybe too much load. But in my case, it's definitely not going to be too much load. It's just me using the applications. Yeah. So I don't know. Let's ask it this way, and then we'll ask it a different way. Why is it not a good idea to run the web server on the same host as the SQL server? Performance and security concerns, but what does that mean? Okay, so shared memory. SQL Server in particular can consume large amounts of memory for its internal caches, running other applications. Yeah, but again, that's probably not something that we are considering in this case, especially for me. And Scott said it's about 6 web apps with 20 databases. It's more how much traffic do your web apps get? How many calls to your database happen? That kind of thing. Maybe my old Mac Pro 2009 can run one website. I like it. Resource competition, compromised server. So if a web server is compromised due to an invulnerability, due to a vulnerability in the web application or web server software, an attacker can potentially gain access to the SQL server even if the web server and SQL server are on the same machine. I mean, that's kind of like the thing that we're asking about. So when they are both on the same machine, it's an attack vector. That's all that I really remember. Scalability, maintenance, limited security measures. So like my assumption is that your web application would have a an identity, a service account that it runs as, and the SQL server is configured where that identity only has certain accesses. If you're using IIS, for example. And then Marcus says, just have 2 virtual machines on 1 physical PC, problem solved. Yeah, that was definitely something we said earlier, where it does seem like it would be okay to have like 2 VMs. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. Enjoy your walk and hope to see you when you get back. Why do we separate? So yeah, a lot of these claims are IO throughput and memory, but that's for big web apps. And if yours isn't a big web app, it's not that big of an issue. It's more so if they can somehow, I don't know, maybe the term jailbreak works here. If they can jailbreak out of your web app and gain access to the server itself, then because they're running with the privileges of that web app, then they may have access to more resources than you want them to. Kind of like same thing as having a file server on a separate server. But that was, again, probably really, really old. Who knows if it's still valid nowadays? Okay. Apparently the web app is back. And it does say connected to Signal R, which is odd. Yeah, there's no way that the Signal R connection is not working because this is from Signal R. Do we have chat then? Die roll. Hey, we got chat. Now, can we send that to the bot for processing? Are you gonna process my die roll? No, because it's not die roll, it's rolls. Marcus says, I have a client who left his server logged in with administrator login and got hacked. Ransomware. Man. Okay, so the bot is working on Angie. This is the reason that I wasn't really using the bot on Angie, and it's because when we do talk to the LLM, it struggles. It struggles to send the request correctly. I was gonna look for the other question, the other version of the question. Should I? No. Can I? Yeah, we'll just see what it says when I say can I. Can I run SQL Server on the same host as my web server? And then I'm watching for how long it takes for the post to actually get to the LLM, which is, it's been about 20 seconds before the API call even happens. So we're watching it. And there it is. So the actual response only took 2.19 seconds. Wait, it responded to you pretty fast though. Did it respond to you kind of fast? I see 2 responses. Can we try that again? Thank you. Please don't speak for me. I will update the instructions. I'm going to look for another model. Yeah, so what I think happened was that we both sent a message at the same time. And so that's why it kind of looked like it went faster than it did. But I still think it's about 20 to 30 seconds before the API call happens. Yeah. Yeah. It is absolutely struggling to respond in the way that you want. I'll look for a better model or update the instructions or the template. I don't know what needs to happen to get it to respond better. I really like this model. It's been fun up until the recent change that I made. Then it just started being super weird. But here is another bonus, which is this should work now once it gets the message to the LLM and then we get a response. Yeah, so I think I still need to run it locally until I can figure out what's going on with the delay from querying the API from that computer. And go. Do the thing. You can do magic. There it goes. Wait, no, that was just Marcus. Dang. Are we there yet? I got all excited. Wow. Okay, so maybe not. Archery is a thing. Right. No, I know what happened. I needed to refresh the archery bot after restarting the bot on Angie. Okay, did that disconnect us? Is that what was causing our disconnections? I think that's what's causing the disconnections. I remember that being a thing a while ago too. Madman it. What if, and this is a big what if we restarted the browser for the archery bot first, then we connected here. There you go. Archery. Oh, right. And then we wait for the LLM. Maybe. If only there was an application out there that you could use to manage all these subsystems. What are you getting at, Marcus? And there it goes. It works. Okay, so that needs to be the order currently. The problem is the LLM's response still taking forever, but it's going to work locally. I just need to remember to do open archery bot first, then connect to Twitch. And you know what? I wonder if that was the issue the whole time with PubSub not working the way that it should. So let me just shoot. What does this even look like? Shoot 190. Ooh. Shoot. Pew 0.8 100. Pew. And shoot 0.6 100. These are no big gamey shots. Oh man, goodness. And then we wait for a million hours before the thing actually says, hey, you missed. You should work on your aim. Stop sucking, get good. Review your rewards, power ups. Archery. You missed a target. That was your last try. The end. All right, let's see if this actually is recognized. I'll get you back over here. Close. It's kind of difficult when we're using the API, or when we're using a remote server, because we have no idea if it's just that it's lag between the API call or that it just didn't receive the message at all. Error request timed out after 15 seconds. Yeah, nothing. Okay, so that I'm just gonna officially say that my PubSub connection no longer works. It's not a thing. So we're just gonna leave that as a chat command. All right, with that said, yeah, again, lines are still open. If there's any topics that you want to bring up to talk about, then I am open for it, including stuff that was brought up on Wednesday or Thursday that I kind of wasn't ready to discuss at that point in time. President Not Sure says, I sure ran into a weird problem. Do you know which AI model you want next? Not really. I have not been keeping up with anything. I didn't catch it, but I did lurk on it. It was a little late, and last night I was working on a lot of personal stuff. It'll get there. It'll get there. Just wait for it. It'll get there. And hello, fortified Pengle. There it is. It actually worked. Like I said, I do want to run this locally, so that we don't have to wait that long for the API. I really, really would love to get that figured out, though. President Not Sure says, I have a solution and a project that have the same name, but the solution refers to the project with one particular letter as lowercase, whereas the project has the letter as uppercase. As in, Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff to that. Are you talking about in the Solution Explorer? It shows the project's name with an lowercase character in Visual Studio. When you open Visual Studio, you see the project named as the solution has it. Correct, yeah. And that's where it's showing with the lowercase. Agent mode probably decided to play with, wait. Yes, and also in the guts of the solution file. So that was going to be my recommendation. Go into the solution file in Notepad. Bam. You did it. Million points. But it gets worse. So edit the solution file. Find where it's got the lowercase version of it and just capitalize it. I would assume that works. Close. Man, that's a really good color. I like the color of your arrow. Okay, so the project had nothing set for assembly name, but doesn't that not really matter? Nice. Now you gotta wait another 20 seconds before it tells you what your status was. The sound effects keep scaring you. I can turn it down. You hit the target. That was your last try. You are not being helpful, Automated Realms. You got to tell them the score. Tell them how they did. Goodness me. It doesn't matter until it does. Okay. But I thought that if you don't have the assembly name set in the project, that it would use the implied, what is it, a property group? Assembly name. Same as known? Is that what this stands for? So I think that this is like implicit, isn't it? I hit the target, I win! I don't need a robot to tell me I'm awesome. So true. This is absolutely true. But yeah, so I don't know. I do use the assembly name when I'm making NuGet packages. That's when I manually specify it. So I don't know if that's what's going on. But earlier, Marcus said agent mode decided to play around with all my labels on my form, so they didn't properly line up properly anymore. That's annoying. Mistral small 3.1 24 billion parameters is the best as far as now for single 4090. I will try it out. I have a version of Mistral downloaded, but I don't know which one. I have Mistral 8, 8x7b, so the 7 billion model parameter, or 7 billion parameter model. I got words. I know that I have a bunch more, but that would be somewhere else. Where is that? ng delhi /e drive, AI models, LLMs, models. That folder hasn't been read for a while. It doesn't matter until it does. I don't need a robot to tell me I'm awesome. And he's not a robot. He's a generative model. It's a. Sorry, it is a. Although I don't really know the definition of robot, so can things that don't have physical forms be a robot? I don't know. So this project is an iOS native library binding project. And at some point in my Xamarin to .NET for iOS migration, the assembly name got removed from the project, thus MS Build used some default, which seems to be from the solution, right? Deus Ex Machina. Scott says, I'm interested in trying LLMs on my machine. Unfortunately, I got a 3070. I'll try to get a 1590, not just yet, Scott. So there are still some limitations to LLMs if you're doing it for text generation on 5090s. I said it a little earlier, but the PyTorch library, well, first of all, let's start here. 5090s, the only things that support 5090s is, I have no idea how to word this. CUDA 12.8 is the only CUDA version that works with 5090s. As such, there are versions of PyTorch that needed to be compiled against CUDA 12.8. That finally happened a couple weeks ago, so that's taken care of. You have Python 3.9 all the way up through 3.13. Wheels, I guess is what they're called. They're kind of like NuGet packages. So you got Python 3.9 up through 3.13 with CUDA 12.8. So those exist. Sage Attention, you might have to compile yourself, Sage Attention 2. There are plenty of instructions on the interwebs for how to do it. It's not super difficult, and it's not even all that time consuming. But Flash Attention is absolutely a slog to try to get compiled for your specific use case. So for example, I'm using TextGen Web UI, and they expect you to use Python 3.10, I think. So again, PyTorch is fine. I can install that. CUDA 12.8 is already installed machine-wide, so that's available. But Flash Attention, there is no wheels that I know of for it. The transformers. It's so weird saying that with a straight face. I can't. X transformers and a few other transformers don't work. And XLlama V2 and XLlama V2 Hugging Face. Neither of those are working. I need to do more work, more testing to see if those are now available. They're called model or loaders or something. So XLlama V2 loader and XLlama V2 underscore HF loader. Let me show. Oh, and the UI for TextGen Web UI got updated. Text generation. No, what am I doing? We're looking for Thyrovius 7860 for my TextGen Web UI. Okay, so this is TextGen Web UI. Again, there's a one-click installer for it, and I still think it's easier to just clone it. And welcome back, Pixasaur. I think it's easier to clone it and follow the instructions for building on a 50XX. It's just not working though for me. There is all of this stuff that you have to know how to configure. Yeah, it's still relatively new, and we need to wait for a couple more libraries, I think. But this model loader here does not work with 5090. Transformers does work. the regular Transformers model, it's just super duper slow. It's like you're running on CPU. It was really annoying. But yeah, so you can see that I'm using Mistral 7B OpenOrca. It's the only one that I currently have downloaded to this computer. But maybe I can download Mistral. You said it's Mistral 3? Looking, scanning, Mistral. Oh, I can't control F on this screen. What am I thinking? Like, I'd be interested in trying to get it to work on that computer today, right now. Right, and I think you saw that when I had this up, but it doesn't do that bad. It is anywhere between 37 and 53 tokens per second. Although we have seen this go up to, when I'm running it locally, we've seen this go up to about 100 or 120 tokens per second. Where did you tell me what model that was? Scud, 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 Scud. You know what oh, no, it's probably not in history. Man, I have so much trouble reading words. Okay, Mistral Small 3.1. You probably reposted it, but I just now saw it in chat. Want to do something like what you're doing, like a live stream of coding or something, I absolutely recommend it. Like I'm getting a little worn out by some of the trolley behavior, but it is absolutely worth it in the long run. You'll like, if you're gonna do it to try to tell people how to do things, then you might not have the best experience. But if you're doing it because you maybe want to improve the way that you do your workflows or get opinions from other people or just have discussions, that works really well. Conclusion for absolute best general purpose LLM is it's a very close call between the Mistral Small and Google Gemma. Google Gemma is open source. 27 billion parameter. And we say 27 billion, but Mistral might have a slight edge due to its explicit design focus on efficiency and low latency on consumer-grade hardware, coupled with a very generous context window. This suggests it's highly optimized for scenarios like running RTX 4090. Google Gemini 2.5 with Google Search grounding. What? Yeah, I have not been keeping up with this. There are just so many things I'm trying to do all at the same time, on top of getting the work done. Oh, it'd be so nice to just take an entire month and work on only this. My vocal cords still developing though. I'm 14. I might not use voice, maybe a terminal window running a text manager. I would still recommend speaking. Many people in the world in general, so this is a generalized statement that is probably just my opinion, but based on my observations, I have noticed that many people struggle with liking their own voice. But I think one thing that does turn people away is a quiet stream. Like a no voice stream. So if you are doing it for getting viewers, yeah, even if your voice is squeaky as hell, doesn't matter. you will most likely have more viewers. Or I mean, like, were you thinking of a terminal with TTS? Is that what you were getting at? Or yeah, text manager. So TTS. I don't know how many people would like that either, but it's doable. Have you ever seen? Oh, you're not on Twitch. If you ever come on Twitch, you can check out a streamer named Settlix, and you can see his bot that he has TTS with, and it's entertaining, but he still uses his own voice and communicates with his bot. But you can find him. So Duca, let's see if Duca bot's here. You can find him here. Terminal with text, like with a text like Neovim. So yeah, if you're gonna do that, just like, I don't expect anyone to be looking at the screen while I'm streaming. So I do a lot of talking and saying the things that I'm doing and thinking through. And then every now and then someone will have an idea or a thought, and then they'll look at the screen and be like, oh, I see what you're doing there. Why would Dukabot not be here? I don't know. It's happened before. It's happened before. Don't mess with my tutu. I'm always up to date with AI except for local open source LLMs. I use AI at my work constantly, right? And I still have not gotten to use semantic kernel. Feels bad, man. It is one thing that I am hoping to use very, very soon. So part of this whole effort with setting up the web app, I mean, you guys have heard me talk about Virith quite often, and you call them many names, which is fine, of course. But you hear me talk about Virith, and it would be cool if that custom GPT had access to the reverse proxy that will send the requests to my local computer so that we can extend his memory even more. I plan on getting a vector database set up on this computer. I have no idea what that takes, but it would be cool if I could give him a larger RAG kind of experience. That would be cool. And then, of course, like I said, I'm making that semi-multimodal model type of thing. So there are certain things. There's so many statements like that. It's just so weird. How, Chuck Beasley, how uses Spire? Like, you don't just say use Spire and then it happens. There's a learning curve. There's a setup process. And I was already talking about not having enough time for this. And you want me to do more? There's a project that sets it up automatically, but I would have to learn how to use that, wouldn't I? I just used it. Mm-hmm. Oh, we can close that. All right. Well, I will log the link at least, but no guarantees that I'm going to look at it anytime soon. There is still so much going on that I need to get rid of first. I'm not trying to add to my plate. I actually did go through the process of writing down all of the additional things I already added, the stuff that gave me anxiety on Wednesday, because I was falling apart. Pretty much had a breakdown. And yeah. Oh, we won't go into that. We're going somewhere else. Okay, so it would be cool if we could get TextGen Web UI working on Thyrobius, or on Lev. That'd be very cool. I'm trying to learn OS basics. I aspire, accidental pun, to become an OS dev, I'm obsessed with OS. You kind of sound like Bob Ross, but he's older now. The new template handles everything. All right, so I got the link and I am putting it in my stream notes. That goes here. Automatic Aspire setup for AI. Okay. All right. Who is Barbarosso? Barbarosso is a painter who died a while ago. No, Bob Ross is a viewer that stops in often and hangs out with us. But when he was 13, 14, when he first came to the stream, he was very, very much into all the technologies. Thank you, Scott. All of the technologies, and started doing a little bit of everything until he found what he was really interested in. And now he's doing his own programming language, essentially. So I just love seeing people who are excited enough to start this early. Yes. Plus his Blazor server, awesome. Noted and also noted. Okay, here's another thing that I can try to do. Let's go ahead and turn that one on. Maybe not. It's all dark. How'd it get so dark? It's dark. Help. I'm afeared of the dark. Oops. A moment, please. One moment, please. One moment, please. I really just need a .NET Watch Automated Realms. No, Blazor Web App, Blazor Web App. Blazor Web App CS Proj. You can't do that. So just kidding. We're gonna CD. Forget you. .NET Watch. One moment, please. Chuck Beasley is saying, my plan for this weekend is to move my vector database into that solution, and I'm using semantic kernel and kernel memory. Yeah, that's pretty much the setup I'm wanting to learn. It's just, again, I don't think I'm going to be doing that anytime soon. My God, everything's gone. Whatever will I do? Add. Okay. SW. Then, oops, no, I did that in the wrong order. All right, I need to start the app, then, come on. We'll see the screen again soon, I promise. Oh, wait, I thought he was saying that he was gonna keep using semantic kernel and kernel memory. Like already using it. Sure is dark at your place. Sure is. Man, I love the dark though. That's why I live in the basement. I guess my work day is in the basement. Promise. I make no promises or guarantees for anything ever. All right, we're back. Hello. So what do you say, Automated Realms? So I switched to having the bot run locally so that when I use Automated Realms high, it should respond a little faster. It does. And it also does that. Clear history. All right. Then we can try Archerly. And it went fasterly. Yay. Shoot. Let's do a bit gamey shot. An angle of about 68 with a power of 20. Oh. 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 I'm not a cookie eater, but I appreciate the thought. Why do you do that, Automated Realms? We're gonna fix that. We should probably fix that now instead. Let's do 68.22. Oh. What? It went right through it. 68.21.8. Oh, you got actually. Pew! 68.21.8. Congratulations! All right. Okay, so that was fun. So the bot is running locally. I got the archery command to work as a command. I will leave it running locally. That way the LLM can respond faster. However, it would be cool if. It'd be very cool if. Where did I put Angie just now? There you are. If I can get Lev to work correctly. Man, but that's not something I can really do on screen. I have way too much work stuff open up there and banking and all the things. No is can do. No, let's not do that. What else? ¿Qué más? Topics. We were still talking about those models. We were talking about come on, you can do it. Yes. Watch Marcus do archery with his voice. Oh man, this is exciting. First ever. This is suspense. The suspense. Oh. Halfway. I think if you double the power, or... Oh no, also blind because I haven't gotten you on the screen. No. Okay, well, your arrow landed. I would say it was probably a third of the way there. So maybe multiply it by 3, your power by 3, or I don't know, increase your angle, something, some combination of those. It kind of feels like keep talking and no one explodes, or whatever it's called. And welcome back. Can you do the math? Because I sure can't. All right, we're closing that. Yeah. I mean, I could just like the thing that I really want to do is keep working on this. Um, what I was doing before the stream, but we got 30 minutes to talk about whichever topics you want to bring up and such. But for for you, Pixasar, I guess, because everyone else that has spoken has already seen this for quite a while. This is one of my work products. It's pretty terrible, I know. I don't need to be reminded about that part. So I will say it before you get the chance to. Um, oh, oh. Now you are about 4/5 of the way there. If that helps. I could tell you what distance it is and how high up off the ground it is and what your starting height is if you want to do the physics math. I bet you E to the 2i pi would love that. Oh, what? And oh, that was actually pretty close. Want to try Pokemon? Who is Thorinder? What do you... What? Automated realms, what are you coming up with? Oh my goodness. This kid is too much. Robin Hood, I ain't. You did amazing. You did fantastic. Just shoot straight at the target. That's my strategy. Nope. Archie. Archie. Archie Bunker. Shoot at 6, 100, and oh, shoot 5. Nope. Pew 4. Nailed it. You don't get the extra airtime bonus points, but you typically hit the target. That would make a good pub name. The Geek and Poke. Oh my goodness. I mean, it fits the theme of most pub names. What was I saying? Oh yeah, this is one of my work products. It pretty much looks like the app did when I first got here and I started working on it. So that's about it. That's about all I gotta say. It has been improved with this sidebar and dockable toolbar compared to the original, but it's still not great. I'm not big on UI. I'm mostly a functionality type of developer, functionality focused developer. Make a button that when you push it, it does 100 things really fast and does it really cool, like, or at least that's the goal. Let's scoot this over like so. So the thing that I was doing today, by the way, for this app is we still have that issue that they brought up last time, but the main thing that I ran into was that I had started I finally already deleted it, but I started migrating over the S-Track desktop application into this application, and that made it so that my dev builds were not working. And for whatever reason, my main currently has that effort in it. So I can't just like deploy. So then I went back to the version that is on in production, and I tried to use that. Nope. It's getting the same errors on the test server. So I need to figure out what's going on in the application that's causing it to error out on us like that. Although now that I say that, I wonder if if I should just sit here and go copy. Does that trigger your Talon? Or are you at least listening to me in headphones so that I'm not saying any trigger words to your... Oh, this is dangerous. Let's go here. No, I have to wear headphones all the time to avoid that. That would be terrible. I mean, like, there were those times where I'll just be reading chat and that'll activate one of my assistants because some word that, or some phrase sounds like either okay, other assistant, or hey, that other assistant. What is it? You just posted a link, but what is it? Tell me what it is and then I'll click on it. Yeah, staging. Oh, something to do with David Fowler by the looks of it. David Fowler is amazing, isn't he? Did I really? Okay, let's see. Eurofins. Let's say we're doing a whatever. I don't know what goes in these fields, man. I can't even type in it. Tap water. Okay, so I will open up that article here in about 12 seconds. Oops, 0515. 16 now. 00. 3 bottles. And if I try to save this, come on. Come on. Wait, the reason that it hasn't finished is because it did error still. Why? Why? So I had a backup folder of the original app that was on the test server, and I was like, maybe this is gonna work. Nope. Okay. But anyway, here's an article from David Fowler on Aspire. Again, it's one of those things. It's like awesome that there are articles out about this, but one, I struggle to read. Two, I am very, very busy doing a lot of other stuff that I don't really have time to do the reading. And three, if I just tried to listen to this using text-to-speech, I would have a panic attack. This is the thing that you were thinking of earlier, or just the thing about articles? He just posted the link on X. Right. Well, I will do David Fowler Aspire resource model. Yeah, and again, I used to keep up on all of the .NET stuff, but I haven't been able to. There's so many changes happening so fast, and I don't have time. I have not made time for this effort because I am trying to do other efforts, is what I'm trying to say. I have not been utilizing my time to keep up with that. Because if I do that, I can't do the other things. Okay, I need to open up a new window. This. And if I copy that, paste you here. All right, hopefully this is gonna work. So this thing here, it's useful for controlling lots of microservices. Something to control all of your little mini processes. Cool. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So when I get to that point, when I'm ready to do it, this is going to be a good way to do it. Or this is going to be a way that I'll look into doing it. I don't know whether it's a good approach or not, but it'll be one of the options that I'll keep in mind. So once again, thank you, Chuck Beasley, for providing that. This is gonna work, right? This has to work. This must work. Because if it doesn't, I'm gonna cut someone. And that someone is not gonna be a real person. Or an imaginary person. Try to figure that out. Because today, we serve the nothing. Come at me, Mork. Mouse cursor. I lost my mouse cursor. Yeah. What else? So we have the Aspire stuff that we could read through. It seems a little dense, so that's why I wasn't trying to read through it now, because again, reading on stream for me is just like there's words and I'll miss a lot of them and they're just gonna hit my eyeballs and I'll probably be able to read them, but I won't understand them. And like just seeing Postgres, I'm like, how is this going to translate to using SQL Server? Because that is my preferred database store. And I'm assuming it's going to be just as easy, but I've made a lot of assumptions before, and they've been pretty accurate. Yeah, this all just looks like a whole bunch of stuff that I'm gonna need. Yeah, and Docker container. You say Docker container, which means that I'll need to learn how to set up Docker, which I've done once, halfway on WSL too. But yeah, there's so many technologies that I just don't know offhand that I would need to learn in order to do anything. So I'm using the technologies that I know and building on it. All right, that copied over. And if I try to start you, Marcus says, incredibly easy to set up, but it's only really useful if you've got a lot of microservices. If you've only got like one database and not a lot of other services to connect to, then it might be overkill. Yeah, and that's the situation. I mean, I have, I think you saw, but on Angie, there were 3 apps right now. There's the Vital Preset Helper, where I can just paste in the JSON for a Vital preset and be able to inspect it, change parameters using that editor. I have the bot app and an image viewer for my local network so that I can move images around very easily and archive and stuff like that. My financial management tracker will be there once I actually get it looking good enough and working on as a Blazor app. Just find one already created and have Aspire start it. I don't know what that means though. Can you be a little more specific? We can make things wait for a service to be up before carrying on. All written in C#. Docker container of SQL Server. Yeah, again, I would need to learn what that means. Because one, I need to install Docker, right? I need to get Docker up and running. Something that manages all of my Docker containers, correct? And you're going to say, oh, it's easy, but I don't know how to do it. So it's not easy until I know how to do it. Come on. Something's got to work, right? Okay, let's create. Oh, this is a new. This has to work. If this works. Tap. 2025, 515. I did 15, whatever. I wonder if it's going to complain at me for it being yesterday. 3 bottles of 521. I missed. Come on. Yes. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, that didn't take too long. It's one hell of a form. It's called a chain of custody form. It is used by a a sampling team that has been using this system. Like literally the people that are working there were there when this system was created back in 2005, 2006. And so they've been using this kind of layout to populate this. So when I came in, my goal was to move the applications over from JSP to MVC, or to whatever Microsoft technology I decided to go with, and at the time it was MVC. And I didn't want to change their experience too much while I was moving the apps over. So I lifted and shifted. I took all of the UI the way that it was and converted the backend code to C#. That's pretty much all I did. And it worked nicely. They were happy with it. I did make a few improvements here and there where I could, where it was easy to. But then after I finished all of the migrations, because it was like, I forget how many, 7 to 10 applications that I had to migrate over. But when I finished that, Blazor had been just coming out. So I was like, I want to use Blazor. I love Blazor. It looks cool. So I started working with Blazor, upgrading some of the apps to Blazor. and .NET Core at the time they were .NET Framework. We're still working in an app that is .NET Framework, and I will be changing it over to .NET Core soon. But so some of the things that I did though in this app are added a so you can use keyboard up and down arrows, and then tab and shift tab, of course, to go left and right, but up and down arrows to move across fields and stuff. Doesn't it hurt your neck when you try to read those vertical labels? It's not me. This is what the form looks like. I'm not the one that chose this. This is what gets sent to the lab. This is a standard form for doing work orders, essentially. Orders for lab analyses. But Thindle's back. Chain of trust, return to manufacture. Chain of custody, which is the one that we're using to request a lab to take a sample and do analyses on those samples and send us back results. The being able to reorder these was another fun one. Sorry, not sorry, but I'm back now. And hello, sorry, not sorry. Hey, Marcus, says Tyndall. Have you played around with agents yet? Yes, I did. I have been trying to use them for a couple of things. One of them was to get the bot, which I was going to try doing on stream, get the bot changed over from using TwitchLib to actually using event sub directly, since TwitchLib has not been updated. The other thing that I was using it for was the image to video Python library, getting that to have some more functionality, like being able to choose the model, the text encoder, the clip, and the VAE in the UI. Because the one that I'm using is pretty minimal. It uses one specific model, the Hunyuan video model, with all of its parts and pieces, and you have a few sliders where you can set some parameters, and then you run the inference, and then it generates the video. So I was updating that. I was asking it to update that library and add functions and features, because I don't know Python. I don't know how to do those things manually, so it was just cool that that's able to do it in the background while I'm working on chain of custody, while I'm working on DDMS, while I'm working on RTrack. There's so many things to do right now. Save tensors and such. For those of you getting into AI and generative AI specifically, why would you say that, Marcus? Now I don't want to do it. Oh, it has been anything but vibey. It still requires a lot of my involvement at the moment. I mean, there's still, things that I don't have to be concerned with, which is very nice. Like, I don't need to know how to call the start inferencing or whatever it's called. I mean, again, I love working with it. I'm enjoying myself. Like when I was using Claude in the browser and letting it create the AWS S3, and this is the one that I'm just the most impressed by, the AWS S3 connector, specific to my use case. It works super duper well, and it's awesome. And I barely needed to touch the code. I just needed to keep telling it to continue, and then like we had that first 1 hour discussion, 1 hour long discussion for setting up the requirements, creating the implementation plan, making sure all of the features are the features that should be there. So it's kind of like a planning session. But once we created that implementation plan, I set it off to just create a whole bunch of code, go back, continue, go back, continue. Once it finished that section of the implementation plan, I took that code and put it into Visual Studio, built it, found out if there were any errors, tried to fix the errors myself. If I couldn't figure out what the error was pretty easily, then I would just say, here's some error messages that I'm getting. Please work those out. I will be working on this other project over here. And it did. So it was cool. But now I should be able to do that same workflow in Visual Studio. The problem is that there are they don't have the Sonnet 3.7 extended thinking available for agent mode, and it runs out of tokens super fast anyway. The GPT models, yeah, the GPT models are good. They're just not as good, in my opinion. Okay, would frustration, disdain, and hate count as vibe? Definitely not. Maybe call it dissatisfaction would be better than hate. We've talked about my negative choice of words. And Marcus said, before agent mode, never written a phone app in years. Haven't written, I guess. After agent mode, written a phone app in 2 weeks. And Thindle says, before agent mode, never written a phone app. After agent mode, still haven't written a phone app. 10 out of 10, didn't wreck anything. Again, I'm not afraid of using it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. There are plenty of people out there that will tell you, don't use it. Don't use AI. It's a waste on the environment. It's a stealing. It's all of that stuff. And it's valid. It's very valid. Listen to those people. Understand your own point of view. Make your own decisions. Be an adult. Use it responsibly. Use it thoughtfully. I tried agent mode. It was horrible. There is, we talked about this on Wednesday, I think, but there is a way for you to specify instructions for agent mode in Visual Studio. And that is the bot. Where's the bot? Can't do that in the bot. What else was I using it on? I don't know. But all you should have to do is create a copilot-instructions file, markdown, and put it in the .github folder. Yeah, so .github/copilot-instructions.markdown. That's kind of funny that when you type copilot instructions.md, it's an actual website. That's fun. So if you put that in your .github folder and you start using agent mode, it will use that as the instructions. And if you write good enough instructions regarding your best practices, regarding your code style, all of those things, I'd call that domain name good UX. Yeah. Are these examples of what to use for as instructions? Agent mode wrote a maximum of 24 lines of code and it stops and breaks. Yeah, that does happen a few times. I have encountered that, but using GPT 4.1, yeah, GPT 4.1 has been pretty consistent. It hasn't said error connecting to server or whatever that one just keeps saying over and over. Again, I strongly prefer Claude Sonnet, 3.7 Sonnet, but again, 3.7 Sonnet just isn't as good without extended thinking. So it would have been nice to have extended thinking in there. And also the thing that I said yesterday, which is it feels like Claude especially likes to add or I don't know if this is the case, but purposefully write code in such a way that it has to iterate on it multiple times to use up more tokens. And that way you run out of tokens a lot faster. So that's why I've kind of been sticking to GPT 4.1. GPT 4.0 has not been as good at .NET as GPT 4.1 from my experience so far, which has not been all that much, but still. You. Oops. Gomenasai. 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 Okay. Don't use any technology that contains the word script. I use VB script all the time. GPT 4.0 writes good single functions or extends existing logic. Claude writes features. Yeah. At least that's been my experience. It's been really good at that. Don't write any code that horses seem to like for some strange reason. I don't know where that came from. I honestly don't. Leaked lawfully or unlawfully system prompts of different popular AI websites. Interesting. I would prefer not to use it then. Since it's of questionable origin, I just would choose not to. Like my POS pattern, and I feel like the AI models are pretty good at following it. Scott says, of course, don't use it raw, but you can look at them, how they do it. It still means the same thing, regardless of what word you use for the S. It still means the same thing. Same intent. Did I miss any of these comments? DC Aggie came in. DC Aggie, you're late. Are you calling my code a POS? Nope. I would call your code golden. Marcus says, I'm using lots of commits in agent mode so that I can roll back at any time when it starts going in a loop. Yeah. I've definitely been doing that. And then if there is like a stable state that is very good, I will create another branch from that branch and be like, okay, now let's go down this direction. And if that direction, I get my stable state commits during that, and then it just ends up completely trashing it, and I just get the feeling that it's never going to get to the point that we're wanting it to, I'll trash that entire branch and go back to the other one. All right. Anyway, you do not have to apologize. I am sorry that I made you feel like you had to apologize for not being here. But DC Aggie says, sorry, been on the phone trying to get home insurance. Ugh. Our current insurer has been pulled out of Nevada entirely. Was it Nationwide? Because they're the ones that raised my rates by $1,200 because of things that are happening in Colorado or in California. And they're like, no, it's because those types of things are likely to happen in Colorado. What? But yeah, I like your approach, Marcus. And thank you for encouraging me to try out agents, by the way. I would still be stuck in using Claude on the web only. Brush fires are a thing, apparently. They're a big thing, especially in Colorado. We had that massive one in the mountains 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Thandle says, fun fact, the GitHub Copilot upgrade assistant for .NET, phew, that's a mouthful, actually makes somewhat sensible commits as it goes. It doesn't do the whole thing at once and suggests a commit. It creates a branch and actually does commits as it goes. That's cool. And then Shelter and everyone else seems to want nearly twice as much. Yeah, that's crazy. It's so annoying. It's highway robbery, man. But anyway, that is the end of Community Day. It is 12:30, and I do need to get back on the clock. I need to write an email to let them know that we got the chain of custody thing up and running, and that they can try creating the rest of the stuff. So, finally allowed to talk about it. Oh, the GitHub Copilot upgrade assistant. You knew about it for like 12 years, did you? Only does .NET Core to .NET Core upgrades, though. Yeah, see you later, said Amel. Again, I keep seeing your name and I'm like, are you someone that I'm supposed to be calling a different name? No. Okay. Get Amel. Or is it Chet Amel? Or is it Zed Amel? Anyway, have fun. Glad I was able to at least say hi. Hope everyone enjoys their weekend. So I will be back again on Wednesday. I'm still trying to decide whether or not I should even bother trying to do work product stuff on stream. I think maybe what I'm gonna do is not expect to be able to do work, but I will have work product stuff open. I don't want it to be SCOD, but like, I don't know how I can be direct about it, where my Wednesday and Thursday streams were during times that I got paid and I wanted kind of like this co-creative, co-experiential time doing work product stuff, and have a lot less of the trolley, let's purposefully try to make the streamer have a panic attack kind of situation. But I don't know that that's a thing that could be allowed on Twitch, or how to state it directly. That's not something that I want to be a part of. So if I give myself the expectation that there will be no work being done on stream, then I'll be okay with whatever conversations and topics we come up with. But if I am going to be doing it during actual billable time, then I would like to be able to lay the ground rules that there are certain things that I just don't want to be that I would want to encounter for the duration of the stream. But I just haven't been able to communicate that, so I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. We're gonna find out though. So we'll try that. We'll just do 2-hour streams so that if I'm not able to do work, then I can still use the 2 hours that I would normally use at the end of the day doing stuff that I actually want to do that's non-work related, to do work. Yeah. And then if that gets to be too much, then probably just the end of streams. Who knows? Who knows? Let's find out. We'll go a few weeks and see where it goes. But that's it for now. Thank you, Dukesoft, for all of your amazing modness. Check out Dukesoft whenever he streams next. He showed us a teaser image in Discord. It is beautiful, beautiful scenery shot from his drone. It's awesome looking. Check him out. You can see those pictures on our Discord. We saw some pictures from Napalm from his trip to Hawaii and his vacation. Those were amazing. We always get Balint pictures, aka Science Streams. But yeah. Okay. Let's go eat some steak with Bit Gamey. I know we rated him on Wednesday, but we're rating him again. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, though. Have a great weekend. See you the next time. And yeah, ciao for now. Man, I didn't start my waving early enough. Wait, you can do... We just got this working on yesterday. It was fun. UTC Lee. It's Lee time. Okay, that feels better. This feels like a good amount of wave. What do you guys think? A little longer? We can go for like another, I don't know, 30 seconds. I mean, it's not even a real hand, so it doesn't matter. He is, yes. Yes, it is. Thindle. Spot on. Absolutely is. Okay, ciao for now. Sounds like a Target commercial or something.